Vandeham Sri Guru Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsam.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome back to the 32nd episode of Pariprashna. So, in today's episode, we intend to discuss chapter number 3, Canto 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is titled Pure Devotional Service, the Change of Heart. So, as we know, towards the end of Canto 1, the last chapter, that is chapter number 19, Maharaj Parikshit asks some very important questions to Sukadeva Goswami. He asks about what is the duty of a man who is about to die. He also asks what is to be chanted, what is to be heard, and what is to be remembered about the Supreme Lord. So, in answer to that, the first 3 chapters of Canto 2, the subject matter is that Sukadeva Goswami is answering those questions of Maharaja Parikshit. So, we have already seen that in chapters 1 and 2, he has rejected Karma Kanda, and he has also elaborately described Ashtanga Yoga process. So, in Ashtanga Yoga, of the 8 steps, the step of Dharana, who should be meditated upon. So, Dharana Ashraya, the shelter of a meditation for the neophyte devotees, was described the amazing Virat Rupa. And then for the advanced devotees in Ashtanga Yoga, the Dharana Ashraya was mentioned to be Paramatma, the Supreme Lord within our heart. But however, in the end of chapter 2, Sukadeva Goswami described the supremacy, the superiority of Bhakti. So that is where we had stopped. And in this chapter, although it is quite a small chapter, only 25 shlokas, but some very important verses to be discussed. So please join us as we try to unpack this beautiful chapter, chapter number 3, Canto 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam, by way of inquiring from His Holiness Bhakti Padma Saurav Pracharak Swami Maharaj. So Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj, in the beginning of this chapter, we see that Sukadeva Goswami, from shlokas 2 to 9, that's like 8 shlokas in such a short chapter, 25 shlokas, he is dedicating to describe about the various demigods who are worshipped for various desires. Like, for example, Brahma, to be absorbed in impersonal Brahma Jyoti, Prajapati Daksha for good progeny, Durga Devi for good fortune, Agni for power, Vasus for money, Rudra for being a great hero. So like this, the whole list goes on, about 26 different things he's mentioning. So Maharaj, in an earlier discussion, you have mentioned about how in Vedas, the major portion of Vedas talks about Karma Kanda. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has already rejected this demigod worship. He called them Alpamedasam in 7th chapter, 23rd sloka of Bhagavad Gita. Antavattu palam tesham tadbhavatyalpamedasam devan devayajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. In the very next verse, Krishna also called them Abuddhayaha, unintelligent. So in this chapter also, in spite of Sukadeva Goswami describing so many things related to demigod worship, he also rejects it. So if ultimately we are going to reject demigod worship, then why invest so much of time and energy to discuss it?
So much of time and energy has been invested, discuss it, so that you can reject it. So
Okay.
that is the purpose of discussion. So certain things you discuss so that you reject. Like for example, you need to do something, then you discuss many plans. And it's not that you are going to execute plans. Ultimately, you discuss many things and reject. So, Anishta Nivritti and Ishta Prapti. Because the gods, they are very famous, especially those who are within the Hindu realm, that they think that these demigods are all on the platform with Krishna, God. So you should talk about the demigods and explain their position with respect to Krishna. And all the demigods, they are actually servants of Krishna. Ekala Ishwara Krishna Ara Sababhratya. Sometimes people in India, the Hindus, it's very painful for them to accept this in spite of their knowing this.
Yes.
So they know, but still very difficult to accept. Any Utsav happens, for example, Ganesh Utsav happens. They sing Jai Ganesha, and then say Jai Jagadisha Hare. At the end, what they chant is Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. This is one thing. Any puja for Durga, it can be for any, it can be for Ganesha, it can be for Shiva. At the end, what is being told is Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. So they are very confused. Why is it so? It is because ultimately, without chanting the names of Krishna, without bhakti to Krishna, the other processes, the karma, jnana, and yoga, it will not give its result. Karma, jnana, and yoga, they are dependent on Krishna bhakti. The same way, the demigods are also dependent on Krishna to give the benefits which the devotees of the demigods would long for. So that is why Krishna talks about the demigod worship, and then and says that, and then he says, establishes the point that they are Alpamayadasham. And ultimately, we should know that demigods are worshipping Krishna because they are bodily parcels of Krishna. We don't know that. That is a problem. If you ask a Durga worshipper, do you know who is Durga? They don't know who is Durga because they are not interested in Durga actually. They are interested in what Durga is going to give. They hardly bother to know who is Durga. Once I went to a Ganesh, there were many devotees of Ganesha or SS people organizing the program. Then I asked, you are worshipping Ganesh. How many of you know who is Ganesha? Then they told Vignaharta, Parvati Putra, and some other story. I told, how many of you know that Mahabharata, within that Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita was written by Ganesha. Oh, one person wrote, yes, Ganesha wrote it. I told, why did Ganesha write this Mahabharata? Why did he write Bhagavad Gita? Why did he write? All kept quiet. Ganesha wrote the Bhagavad Gita so that you can read the Bhagavad Gita. And how will you work Ganesha without reading Bhagavad Gita? So these demigods are connected with Krishna. They are not independent of Krishna. So as devotees of Krishna, we don't reject the demigods. Rather, we see the demigods in a proper perspective. And we see the demigods, oh, they are very nice devotees of Krishna. So then the demigods also bless the devotee of Krishna. Otherwise, these demigods, they don't bless their devotees because they know they are not interested in them. They are interested in what they want. So that's why a discussion is required. Whenever Krishna does pastimes, he does pastimes with the demigods and there is devotees. So the problem is not with the demigods. The problem is the ignorant demigod worshippers. Sometimes a person in knowledge about Krishna's supremacy can also worship the demigods, being cognizant, being completely aware with the knowledge of the demigod's connection with Krishna. Like sometimes a Vaishnava may offer ahuti to a demigod, like saying, Idam Suryaya, Idam Namama, Suryaya Swaha, Idam Surya, Idam Namama. So at that time he knows that Surya is eye of Krishna. So he sees the demigods as the bodily limbs of Krishna. Like Bharat Maharaj, he is performing all sacrifices, being at the level of bhava, highest stage of bhakti. And And in that stage also he was performing this demigod worship, karma kanda. But he was not, his devotion was not affected because he was totally Krishna conscious. Even while he was offering Indraya Swaha, Idam Indraya Namama, he knew that Indra is the hand of Krishna. So whenever he saw the demigods, he remembered Krishna. So in this way, discussion about demigods has to be there, but with a proper perspective.
Okay. So, Maharaj, continuing that conversation, okay, so let's say now somebody has proper perspective, they understand all these demigods are different limbs of Krishna. So, do Krishna's devotees also worship demigod? Is that okay with the proper perspective? And if so, do they also go with desires, or how do they? What is the motive behind worshipping demigods?
Not necessary, but if the circumstances come, then they would go. Like for example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going on the South India tour. At the time when he saw a Shiva temple, Lord Shiva temple, he went to Lord Shiva temple and then glorified Lord Shiva there. So there is one beautiful ashtakam written by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Of course, he chanted it. He sang it for Lingaraj, Bhuvaneshwar. So he describes Lord Shiva's greatness. And what is the greatness of Lord Shiva? That he is Pravinaya. He is expert in singing. But Sada Samutkanta Govinda is always with Utkantata. He is chanting the Leela of Govinda. So, who are the demigods? The demigods are devotees of Krishna. So now Lord Shiva himself says to Parvati that Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnuradhanam Param. Among all the different kinds of Aradhanas, Vishnuradhana is Param. The topmost Aradhana is Vishnu. But Tadiyanam Samarchanam, Tasmat Parataram Devi. Superior to that, Aradhana Vishnu is to worship the devotees of Vishnu. Now, who are demigods?
Devotees of Krishna.
So, worship of the demigods is superior to worship of Vishnu because they are devotees. So, if somebody has that idea, no problem. So, if you have material desires, then you approach Krishna. And if you really want to approach a demigod, you approach for Krishna. The gopis approach Katyayani so that they can get Krishna as husband. So, best is that for material desires, go to Krishna. In Krishna, go to demigods. Because demigods, they talk to Krishna every day. They are in constant touch because they are the administrators. So, if you go to Lord Shiva's temple, then you can say, "Oh Lord Shiva, please give the meditation, the constant meditation, what you have on Krishna. Like that bhakti you give to me." Purandaras Dasa says, Taila dharayante, the Taila dhara, you take a cup of oil and pour it. The dhara, the stream is so unwavering. So give me that Taila dharayante manasa kodo Shambhu. Shambhu, give that meditation which you have for Shambhu, for Krishna to me. So, if you have material desires, you don't have to go to demigods because they don't like you asking them, give that, give this. Because they're very busy in serving Krishna. Sometimes they give to their devotees because they're frustrated. Here, take this and get lost. Because don't disturb me. I'm serving Krishna. I'm doing my bhajan. So these idiots, they think that, my demigod, my devata is happy on me. That is why he gave this benediction. No, they gave it out of frustration. Like sometimes the mother, they think the child goes and asks the mother, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. But the mother knows just last week he had fever, and if he takes ice cream, he's going to suffer again. But still, the child goes and says, "Ma, ice cream, ice cream." And mother take this 50 rupees, get lost. So he's very happy. He got 50 rupees. But actually, mother was not happy to give it. She was fed up because she was being disturbed by their household affairs. Her cooking was disturbed. So in this way, the demigods, they are to be worshipped as devotees of Krishna. And they also feel very happy for being treated so. The best way to worship Lord Shiva is to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Is to chant the Rudra Gita, which he has spoken in the Bhagavatam. The best way to worship Ganesha is to study the Bhagavad Gita, because he becomes happy. Oh, I wrote the Gita and now he's reading it. Success, my life is successful. That is what Ganesha thinks.
Okay. So, Maharaj, you alluded to gopis worshipping Katyayani for getting a good husband, that Krishna is the husband. So, if somebody quotes that example and all the the gopas were trying to worship Indra, doing Indra Puja annually, and then Krishna dissuades them from doing that. So, does that mean that even pure devotees of Krishna are approaching demigods?
See, Krishna's pastimes, in the pastimes of Krishna, all were following Varnashrama Dharma. That's the culture. Varnashrama Dharma is culture in which you perform Krishna Bhakti. Of course, the Brajavasis are beyond Varnashrama, but the most suitable and favorable culture which is there in Goloka is Varnashrama. So the standard system in Varnashrama is that you go to Durga Devi to get good husband. But the gopis, they worship Durga Devi, but actually externally it's Durga. But our acharyas have described that she is Yogamaya herself. So they approach Yogamaya. So there's nothing wrong like you trying to approach somebody for Krishna. So when the gopis approached Durga Devi, were they conscious of Durga? Were they conscious of Krishna? So the whole purpose of goal of life is to be Krishna conscious. So even if you go to Lord Shiva's temple and then you're Krishna conscious, what is the problem? Because Lord Shiva is also Krishna conscious. Even if you come to Krishna's temple and then you're not Krishna conscious, what is the use? The whole purpose of our goal of life is to be Krishna conscious. The gopis are totally Krishna conscious in spite of they worshipping Durga.
Nice. Okay. So, Maharaj, now this 10th shloka, it is often quoted shloka. I've heard some of your classes also where you do a phenomenal job of deep diving into this shloka. So, I'll just quote it, and then if you can unpack this verse for us, it'll be great. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the supreme whole, the personality of Godhead. So, what is Akama, Maharaj?
So the word akama refers to the person who has only one kama, that is to satisfy the kama of Krishna. That is called akama. Because nobody in this world can be akama. But here the word akama refers that bhajaniya paramapurusha sukam hi swasukatvam, who has only one desire, who considers a person whose only happiness is the happiness of the Supreme Lord. By making Krishna happy, seeing Krishna happy, he becomes happy. The only desire is to satisfy Krishna's desires. So that person is known as akama.
Okay. Then Sarvakamovā, material desires, just now we were talking about demigod worship.
The sarvakama includes all desires. I want wife, I want children, I want a job, I want a promotion, I want house, I want a car, I want to go to America. So all these desires are called sarvakama. That means general desires which people have to satisfy their senses. That's called sarvakama.
Why is moksha kama included here? Because of the Chatur Purusharthas, usually the general understanding dharma, artha, kama, moksha is the highest.
Because many people think that those who have a desire for liberation, they don't have desires. But desire for liberation is also a desire, Rather, desire for liberation is the most dangerous desire which can take you to hell. So you may say, what is this? Kaivalyam narakayate. So, Bodhananda Saraswati talked about it. Kaivalyam narakayate. So, the desire for liberation is hellish, because liberation is a stage where it's like hell, because you don't have an opportunity to serve Krishna. Though you are liberated, you don't have material miseries, but the constitutional position of the soul is to serve Krishna. And that opportunity is there in the stage of liberation. That is why moksha is also considered a kama, because in general people think that those who have moksha kama, that means they don't have desires. But actually moksha, desiring for moksha, is also a desire. As long as the desire for moksha is there, bhakti sukha cannot be understood. Actually, it indicates that those who desire liberation, their desires are more dangerous, filled with desires, even more desires than those who want some material comforts. Now you see, akamaha, sarvakamo, mokshakamo. Sakama means, if you go by the gradation, who is the best?
Akama.
Akama. And then who is next best?
Oh,
Sarvakama.
Okay.
And then who is the worst?
Muktikama. Okay.
Muktikama is worse. Why? Mokshakama or a Sarvakama, he is only desiring some comforts in his life. He wants this, I want that. But the word kama itself indicates a desire to destroy suffering and happiness. That is the purpose of kama. But those so-called jnanis, they want to destroy suffering, and they are very much anxious to have the enjoyment of Brahman. So that is why their desire is more stronger than the desire of the materialistic people, because they want some temporary relief from material miseries and temporary happiness in this world or in Swarga. So those who desire liberation, they want permanent relief from miseries and permanent happiness in Brahman. So they are bewildered more than the devotees, because the devotees are bewildered more than the karmis, because their desire is more stronger. In their desire, when you go and say, why don't you serve Krishna? Then they would say, no, we would not serve Krishna. So sometimes a person who has a general desire, he may serve Krishna. But for those who are desiring liberation, that is more dangerous. Bhukti mukti pishachi yavat hridivartate tavat sukas bhakti sukasyatra katam abhyudayo bhavet. It's a very famous verse written by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita. He says, as long as there is a desire in my heart for sense enjoyment, bhukti, and as long as there is a desire for liberation in my heart, till then bhakti sukha will not be experienced. So when Vallabhacharya, he visited Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami gave this book, Bhakti Rasamrita, for him to give some stippani, his review. Then he told, it's a very excellent book, a wonderful book. But I had a problem with one verse which you have written. Bhukti kama, it is sarva kama, which is mentioned in this verse, is pishachi, accepted.
Okay.
But mukti kama, how can you say mukti kama as pishachi? Pishachi means a witch. It is not good, but to compare desire for liberation to a witch he's not good. Then okay, Rupa Goswami accepted, very humble way. But Srila Jiva Goswami, who was assisting Rupa Goswami, editing Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, when he was asked to give a send-off to Vallabhacharya, he picked up an argument. And he proved that Mukti Kama is more dangerous than Sarva Kama. So that is why devotees, they reject liberation.
Okay.
Sometimes they may accept some enjoyment for the pleasure of the Lord, but they would never ever accept liberation if there is no service. That is why, to explain the glory of bhakti, the glory of bhakta has been described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by quoting this verse. That is, what does the devotee do? Samipya Srashti Sarupya. All mukti, all kinds of, 4 kinds of mukti. Dhiyamanam na grinanti, vinamat sevanam. Dhiyamanam, even though Krishna comes and says, take this mukti, the devotee says no, because there is no service. Seva, they would not accept. So there are so many verses which talks about how the devotees reject liberation.
Okay. Wonderful, Maharaj. So Maharaj, this Udaradhi, just now we were talking about Alpamedasa, Abuddhayaha. So demigod worshippers are called less intelligent or unintelligent, and here worshippers of Krishna are called those who have broader intelligence, Udaradhi, if you can say something about this.
Simple. Udaradhi means he is very intelligent. Udara, vast. Dhi means intelligence. Because even though a person is having all the kama or akama in any condition, he should have one desire. That one desire is what? To please Krishna. Not worshipping the Lord is a sign of foolish intelligence. He may be intelligent, but he's foolish intelligent. So, but the bhakti should be tivrena. Tivrena refers to practice of bhakti without jnana and karma, mixture of jnana and karma. Like you have sun. The sun rays are very tivra, but do the clouds come? Even though the sun is radiating the same tivrata, you will not experience that tivrata. The same way, the bhakti is always radiant like the sun, but sometimes because of your ignorance, somebody covers that bhakti with jnana and karma. They think that I should practice some principles of jnana, some principles of karma, so that I can become a better bhakta. No, bhakti is totally independent of jnana and karma. That is why those who do tivra bhakti, that means shuddha bhakti, pure devotional service, as described by Rupa Goswami in the verse Anyavilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam Anukulyana Krishnana Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. Till that time, one comes to the platform of practice of pure devotional service, he cannot be called Udaradhi.
Okay. So how does one intensify Bhakti Yoga, Maharaj? Tivrena Bhakti Yogena?
Intensity, bhakti is already intense, but our practice of bhakti is not intense because we do something else other than bhakti. The only way to intensify bhakti is to associate with an intense bhakta.
Wow.
When you associate with a bhakta who is very intensely practicing Krishna consciousness, that intensity comes to you. Like you sit near the fire, you also get the fire. You also get the heat. So how do you get the heat of Krishna consciousness? By associating with the devotee who is also very much heated in Krishna consciousness.
Beautiful, very nice. So that's a nice segue to the next shloka. Etavan eva jajatam iha nishreyasodayah bhagavatya cha lobhavo yadbhagavata sangatah. All the different kinds of worshippers of multi-demigods can attain the highest perfectional benediction, which is spontaneous attraction unflinchingly fixed upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by the association of the pure devotee of the Lord. So this is so powerful, Maharaj. Just now you also talked about association.
Yes. So for those who are Yadatam, that means those who are worshipping the demigods, they will also attain Nishreyasodayaha, means the highest fortune. They'll attain only by the association of devotees. Bhagavat Tyacharo Bhavo Yad Bhagavata Sangataha. Bhagavata Sangata. If they receive the association of devotees, they attain bhakti. So, if the attitude of service to the Lord arises because of association of devotees, then they also, those demigod worshippers also attain the highest benefit. Otherwise, there is no auspiciousness in their life. The devatas cannot bestow bhakti. So, association of devotees is the most important. Without association of devotees, there is no way anybody can attain Shuddha Bhakti.
Okay. So with this, Sukadeva Goswami seems to have very nicely, clearly, succinctly answered Maharaj Parikshit's question, establishing the superiority of bhakti, and what is to be chanted, heard, and remembered is only about the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And now the focus is shifting on to Shaunaka Rishi asking Suta Goswami further questions. And here he is glorifying in expressing his eagerness to continue this Krishna Katha, he is glorifying Maharaj Parikshit and also Shukadeva Goswami. I'll just quote the shlokas. First of all, he is saying, "O learned Suta Goswami, please continue to explain such topics to us because we are all eager to hear. Besides that, topics which result in the discussion of the Lord Hari should certainly be discussed in the assembly of devotees." So now he is glorifying Maharaj Parikshit. स वै भागवतो राजा पाण्डवेयो महारथः बालक्रीडनकैक्रीडन् कृष्णक्रीडाम्य आददे. Maharaja Parikshit, the grandson of the Pandavas, was from his very childhood a great devotee of the Lord. Even while playing with dolls, he used to worship Lord Krishna by imitating the worship of the family deity. I'll just put the next shloka as well, text 16. वैयासकिश्च भगवान् वासुदेवपरायणः उरुगाय गुणोदाराः सतां स्युर्हि समागमे. Shukadeva Goswami, the son of Yasudeva, was also full in transcendental knowledge and was a great devotee of Lord Krishna, son of Vasudeva. So there must have been discussion of Lord Krishna, who is glorified by great philosophers and in the company of great devotees. So, Maharaj, in the earlier sessions also you have described the qualification of the hearer and the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, if you can just briefly touch upon that again, and maybe also the relationship between the hearer and the speaker, so Krishna Katha can be discussed for the benefit of everybody.
Yeah. The qualification of the speaker is already described in the first canto, first chapter itself.
Right.
The fundamental qualification of the speaker is that he should have been a very good disciple. That is why the says in Naimisharanya, they tells the Goswami, Bruyu snigdasishasya guru guhyam pyuta. You speak to us because you are snigdasishasya. You are a very good shishya. And Guru, seeing your humility, snigdhata, Guru guhyam pyuta, Guru has revealed a secret to you. See, when a speaker is speaking and a person is hearing, or many people are hearing, what is being transferred is not just some words, it is not some knowledge, it is transfer of consciousness. Transfer of consciousness happens when the speaker has received the secrets of the scriptures from his guru because of his humility. And when the person who is seeking, he also becomes a recipient of that transcendental knowledge and is humble. Humility is a primary qualification of a speaker as well as the hearer. So when both are humble, then the person becomes recipient of of the secrets of Krishna Bhakti, of Krishna consciousness. So many kinds of people here, but only those who are humble, they are the qualified people to hear Krishna consciousness. Parikshit Maharaj, he is so humble. It is not that he was not knowing Krishna Katha, because from his childhood he had been hearing Krishna Katha. That is what is described. Right from childhood, Parikshit Maharaj was only interested in Krishna. And he has heard Krishna Katha to such an extent that he knows practically all the stories of Krishna. But still he inquires for two reasons: to express his humility, other is to express his eagerness to hear again from Sukadeva Goswami. When you say, I know, then you have a problem, because then you become a jnani. Then you say, I want to relish, then you become a bhakta.
Wow.
So you inquire not because of not knowing, because you want to relish hearing from different devotees, especially devotees like Sukadeva Goswami, who are constantly in love with Krishna. So the same Krishna Katha, you relish, even though you know. That's the perfection of life. Go on hearing, that's expression of one's humility. That's the qualification of a speaker and a hearer of Bhagavatam.
Very nice, Maharaj. So now that you said the qualification is go on relishing Krishna Katha, and now in the next segment, next three shlokas, we see that Shaunaka Rishi is criticizing those who do not hear Harikatha. So 17th verse, Ayur harati vaipumsam udyan astam chayan asau tasyarte yat kshano nita uttama shloka vartaya. Both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all good personality of Godhead. So this Krishna Katha is so powerful that it is not even taking away the lifetime of the devotee Maharaj, but we are also getting old. We will also eventually die.
So why this verse is spoken is because, hey, don't delay. Every time the sun rises and sets, your life is gone. So discuss about Krishna. Hear the topics about Krishna. The sun steals away the life of a person who is not interested in Krishna Katha. But the moment you start hearing Krishna Katha, then the sun has no influence on you. Time doesn't take away your life. Life becomes successful. Like for example, you have a tree, and one branch of a tree bears fruit. Then the whole tree becomes successful. You say, oh, mango tree, we have a mango tree. It is because mango. Because you're not going to eat leaf and branches and all twigs. The same way, whole life becomes successful just because you're interested in Krishna Katha. So, Ayur Harati Pumsan, Uddhanastam Chennaso, Asyarte Chanonita, Uttama Shloka Vartaya. So, by constantly engaging ourselves in Uttama Shloka Varta, Krishna Katha, then you become transcendental immediately. You become transcendental.
Okay.
That's the power. Now you may say, oh, devotees also become old. They also die. They also have sickness. Now why it happens then? It happens because by the will of the Lord. When devotee becomes sick, he is so interested in Krishna Katha. The devotee's heart is filled. Oh Lord, please take me. I am fed up with this body now. I want to hear more about you. I want to come back to you. And all other people think the demons think is even though he is devotee, he got sick. So what is the use of the devotion? So unqualified people, they go to hell.
Mm.
And inside the heart of the devotee, the devotion increases.
Mm.
So the old age, the death, and sickness are actually an external manifestation of devotees by the will of Krishna, so that they develop the longing uh, for the Lord. I want to come back to you. No, enough now. I'm fed up now. Oh Lord, take me. My body is no more fit for hearing Krishna Katha. What is the use of this body? Now, please take me. Uh, and it is not because of the influence of time, not influence of karma.
Mm.
Now, this can be very nicely understood by in Bhishma's,
Mm.
Bhishma's leaving the body.
Mm.
Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows. But just see, to hear from Bhishma, who all came, not a sage was there who did not come, not the king was there who did not come. And even Krishna came to hear, make Yudhishthira Maharaj hear from Bhishma. So, can you say Bhishma was sick or something like that? No. Externally, he was in that condition by the will of the Lord, so that the Lord wanted to prove to the entire world, let's see my devotee, the glory of my devotion. Srila Prabhupada, at the age of 70, 69, 70, he went to America and preached Krishna consciousness. That became his glory actually. His old age, it became his glory. If he had done it at the age of 30, 40, people would say, okay, he was a young man, so he could do. But every time when you talk of Srila Prabhupada, even a materialistic person says, at the age of 70, in that condition. So the external conditions of old age, poverty, sickness, death, or troubles, they add to the glory of the devotee.
Mm.
In this condition also,
Mm.
he is not knowing the Lord. So that's glory. In this world, if somebody is healthy, then you do some sevas or some. The moment you become sick, then you don't do that. But in spite of being sick, in spite of Prahlad Maharaj being in that condition of such a condition where his father wants to kill him, but still he did not leave his devotion. So his condition became added to his glory. Like that, the external situations of a devotee are for two purposes: to increase the longing in the devotee to attain Krishna, to manifest his glory to the world, for the pious people, for the envious people, to take them to hell, so that they criticize. Hare Krishna.
Glorious indeed. So Maharaj, now Shaunaka Rishi is coming down heavy on those who avoid hearing Krishna Katha. Shvavidvara karaihi samstuta purushah pashuhu nayat karnapatopeto jatu nama gadagrajah. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Such heavy words: dogs, hogs, camels, asses.
Ah. So he said, dog is always a dog, a hog is always a hog, a camel is always a camel, and donkey is always a donkey. But one is one who is not a devotee of the Lord, and then one who glorifies the person who is not a devotee of the Lord. All the four animals are in him.
Oh.
Huh? all uh, uh, all the four animals. He is a human, but he takes the qualities of the animals. Oh, what a ascharya! And all the animals are thinking. Dog is thinking, I am just having the quality of a dog. Just see, he's a dog also. He's a donkey also. He's a camel also. Huh? Huh? And the dog is thinking, just see, I am not able to take up one quality of a donkey. How is it able to do all the qualities of donkey onto him? Huh? Being a human. So that's the condition of a human, so-called human. who is not performing Krishna Bhakti. So he knows, he's aware of the hell into which he will be born by following one qualities. So these dogs are thinking. So he knows that by following a quality is going to hell. But he cannot understand this thing. Why still he gets into this propensity? In this way, the animals praise him in 4 ways. And the dog's quality is to become angry without reason. That is the quality of a dog. And pig quality is eat impure things. And the camel's quality is carry heavy burden and enjoy eating thorns. The quality of a donkey is to get kicked by his mate. So Krishna, it is talking about a person who Nayat Karnak Pat Upete, means Krishna has never gone in that person's ears. Upeta means to go. Whose ear has never heard about Krishna, if you put in a different way, into whose ears Krishna has not entered. There is no difference between Krishna and Krishna's name. So that is a condition. So the first people will appear to be humans, but they're not humans. But on the other hand, if somebody is hearing about Krishna, then he is glorified by everyone, including the animals. Okay.
Wonderful, Maharaj. So now Shaunaka Rishi is going even deeper, limb by limb description of such animalistic person. So in the interest of time, I'm not going to quote all the shlokas, I'll just summarize it. So he's saying the ear holes of such a materialistic person is compared to the holes of snakes. The tongue is compared to tongue of a frog. The upper body, though crowned with a silk turban, it's only a heavy burden because he's not bowing down before the Lord. And then his hands, although glittering with bangles, it's like those of a dead man. His eyes are like that of plumes of the peacock. His legs are compared to the tree trunks. And this person, Shaunaka Rishi is saying, is certainly a dead body. And his heart is steel framed because it is not changing even after chanting the Lord's holy name. So finally he says, therefore, please speak Harikatha that transpired between Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. If there's anything you want to add to this, Maharaj, this whole description.
So already described very nicely. What will I describe?
Okay.
Varaha param patta kirida justam mangam shavau karu no kurute saparyam anamet mukundam. One who doesn't pay obeisances to Mukunda, his turban, crown is only a burden. So turban in the crown means all the designations. I am father, I am mother, I am engineer, I am doctor, I am the boss, I am this, I am this. All the designations what you have, it's only a burden if you don't bow down to Krishna. Because ultimately, Krishna is the father, Krishna is the mother, Krishna is the boss, Krishna is the control, Krishna is the Ishvara. So you're only nimitta. So once you think that I am this, I am rich, I am this. All the concepts what you have about identity, about yourself is all only a burden. All these burdens actually belong to Krishna. Only he can bear those burdens. So if you think as the president of the temple, the only person who can be fit person in this world to be president of a temple is Krishna. And if you think of the president, and then that means you don't surrender to Krishna, then you suffer. It's a burden. So what does the burden do? It drowns you. It drowns you in the ocean of samsara. Now if the hands are there, what is the purpose of the hand? To serve Krishna. If you don't serve Krishna with your hands, then even though it is decorated with so many wonderful kankana, lasat kanchana kankanova, golden bangles are there. Say a dead body, decorated golden bangles. Will you go and say, how beautiful, nice, nice. You say that? No, it's impure. Like that. So all the limbs of the body, the only purpose of that limbs of the body is to serve Krishna. If you don't do that, then they're very obnoxious.
Okay. So Maharaj, for Vichara Mantana, I thought we'll focus a little bit more on the 17th verse, although you have very nicely already described. Maybe just a couple of questions on this. Ayurharati Vaipumsam Udyan Astam Chayan Asau Tasyarte Yakshano Nita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. So how do we, as practicing devotees, amidst our duties and distractions, take good quality and quantity of time in our daily life to hear Krishna Katha?
As much as possible. The principle should be to increase over a period of time. So, somewhere you have to start with something and always think of increasing. That is the most important. It is not that half an hour I'll do and be happy. That's all. No. Even though you're doing for 5 minutes today, but think of doing it for 10 minutes. Have the longing for doing it for 10 minutes. One day when I'm going to do for 10 minutes. That longing is the thing which is required. That longing makes you more advanced. If somebody says 1 hour, that's all, over, then that is Vaidi. Raga is what? Oh, I'm able to only do for 5 minutes. When I'm going to do? When I'm going to do more? When I'm going to do more? This longing makes you, when you have this longing, Krishna makes an arrangement so that you care about Krishna. You come to the point of doing it 24 hours a day. Satatam kirtayanto maham. 24 hours. Nita uttama shloka vartaya. Nita means constantly engaged. So everybody has to plan in such a way that they hear about Krishna more and more, and engross their mind more in Krishna Katha more and more. More and more should be there. If you fix, then you are in a fix. So don't fix. Have the longing to increase. Ultimately, is what is the purpose. So I always pray to Krishna that every opportunity you give to speak about Krishna, speak about you, that's the mercy. More and more, more and more, more and more, more and more hearing, more and more chanting. Don't have any restriction. Don't bring the Vaidi concept. Have the concept of raga. The raga means more. I want more. I want more. So somebody is doing 10 minutes a day and having the longing to do more is better than somebody who is doing 1 hour a day, but thinking, okay, I'm done with it. Because when he's having a longing, he's actually not existing in the material world. For example, today he could read for 10 minutes Bhagavatam. He's thinking, tomorrow I want to read for 15. Tomorrow I want to. So till the time the next day comes, he's actually not in this, in the activities. Consciousness is not in those activities. Consciousness, when the tomorrow is going to come, when I'm going to do 15 minutes tomorrow. So somebody thinks, I'm done with my job, 1 hour reading is over, I'm going to do other activities. Okay, that's fine, it is good. But the longing to hear more is more important.
Very instructive. So Maharaj, given that the Shravanam, hearing Krishna Katha, is emphasized over and over and over again, how does time invested in Krishna Katha really impact the quality of our chanting, our meditation, our devotional services? How does it percolate into everything that we do?
So Krishna Katha increases love for Krishna. So when you have love for Krishna, then naturally you will do your activities better. For example, you're cooking for Krishna. When you're increase in love for Krishna, you'll cook better. You'll cook more items. You'll cook better items. You'll use better quality. So when you hear about how Yashoda serves Krishna, then naturally you will also develop a taste of serving Krishna with pure Dasi cow butter. Oh, Yashoda used to serve with this kind of butter to Krishna, churning herself. I get this stupid butter from the shop. It's not butter, it's only poison. How can I offer like that? So at this word, so devotional service happens like that. in your service. When you're chanting Krishna's name, you know whom you are chanting, whose name you are chanting when you hear about Krishna Katha. So naturally chanting, other devotional services, everything becomes more and more perfect. Already they are perfect, more and more perfect, more and more enthusiastically perfect by hearing Krishna, hearing Bhagavatam.
Okay. Wonderful, Maharaj. Very insightful. So, Maharaj, moving to our third section, Anushilana, practical application. So, I wanted to ask you some questions related to association of devotees. So, given that anybody with a tilak and kanti mala, they're all devotees, we do offer respect, say Hare Krishna, greet them, and all that. But how do we be a little bit more, I don't know what word to use, maybe discriminative, not in a judgmental way, but how can we be a little bit more selective? To what extent we associate with different devotees?
You have to associate devotees. The purpose of association should be Krishna Katha. Satam prasangam maviri samvidau. So the whole purpose is of to associate with devotees is to hear Krishna Katha from them. So if some devotee is not interested in Krishna Katha, then you don't associate with him. Somebody devotee is interested in Bhagavatam, you associate with him. That's all. There is only one rule. Others, your obeisances, respect them. But association should be with those who are only interested in Krishna Katha. That is why Krishna yasya kiritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet pranatapischa bhajantamesham prashrushaya bhajanvigyam ananyam nidadishunyam. So those who are interested in Krishna Katha, they are not interested in criticizing any devotees. If somebody is interested in criticizing devotees, even though they are speaking something truthful, but it's criticism only. Because there are so many things to discuss in Bhagavatam. Why don't you discuss about that? So associated devotees, those who don't criticize others and who just are interested in glorifying Krishna and glorifying devotees.
Does ISKCON Katha qualify as Krishna Katha?
What is the meaning of ISKCON Katha? ISKCON is filled with Krishna Katha. If there is no Krishna Katha, then ISKCON se sunke USKCON se nikalna. That is called ISKCON. ISKCON has many meanings. One of the meanings of ISKCON is ISKCON se USKCON se nikalna. So that is not required. If some discussion which is going to lead to Krishna Katha, it's fine. But if the discussion is not leading to Krishna Katha, it is not leading to Tattva Vichar, then no use.
So in today's time, Maharaj, when we don't have the physical association of devotees, how do we still manage with virtual association of devotees?
Pariprashna is virtual only. Where physical is there? Virtual only. Best is physical, but the virtual has effect only when you know the person and you have a relationship with the person, some concern, love, affection. So then virtual has its effect also. It's not that it's totally rejected, but it has its limitations. And to overcome that limitations, that consciousness, connection, swajatiya should be there. Swajatiya. Like if you see, Sanjaya was speaking to Dhritarashtra, whatever was happening in the Mahabharata war. And Bhagavad Gita also he spoke. Sanjaya spoke to Dhritarashtra. It was virtual.
Yes.
I don't know what kind of Zoom he had, whether Zoom or web, what is it, Microsoft, what web or whatever. I don't know what it is.
Nice. So Maharaj, our last segment, Brahmastra segment, before I let you go, I know you're super busy. So just like in the last segment of this chapter, how Shaunaka Rishi was telling that those who don't hear, their ears are compared to the ears of a snake hole and tongue is compared to that of a frog. So similarly in Brahmastra, I'm just going to give you a few scenarios and whatever comparisons you want to make, you're welcome to make them, Maharaj. So those who do not follow the instructions of their guru.
Madman.
Very nice. Those who do not wake up early for chanting japa.
Dead person.
Okay. Those who do not proactively seek association with devotees.
They're longing for Krishna's mercy.
Okay.
They're just longing. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Those who brag about themselves.
What is the meaning of brag?
Bragging, boasting, like talking, blowing their own,
Boasting.
praising themselves.
Yeah. You have these wolves. They also make sounds.
Okay.
Evening, lot of wolves, they make sounds. The
Drawing
lion
attention.
comes, they all run away.
Okay.
Like that. Wolves, jackals.
Jackals wolves. Okay. Those who are lazy in seva.
Yeah, they're preparing to go to hell. Yeah. Because if you're lazy in seva, then you are giving your seva to somebody else, and you want somebody else to serve you. So when somebody serves you, you go to hell.
Wow, what connection? Okay. Those who gossip about other devotees.
Yeah, gossip about Krishna, gossip about devotees, if that is done with the great affection for them in the purpose of glorification, that gossip is far superior to the Vedas. They are more than Vyasa. That is what Bhagavatam talks about. Sanjalpamaya Stuti. The first canto, we discussed about that.
Right.
Anyonyamasi Sanjalpaha Uttama Shloka Chetasam. Uttama Shloka Chetasam. They are completely the maid servants of Hastinapura. Their consciousness is captivated by Krishna. So their gossip is far superior to the Vedas. So the whole purpose is, what is their consciousness is more important. Anyway, what is having Pariprashna is gossip only. It's also gossip. But Pariprashna is transcendental gossip. So fine. So what is the subject matter of their gossip? That's important.
Right. Nice. Okay. Those who envy others' progress.
If they envy others' progress, then what do you call them? They're demons. Enviousness is demons.
Okay. And those who eat food not offered to Krishna.
Those who, Krishna already says, eat. One who eats food is eating only sin. Pig. This chapter talks about pig. Eat anything.
Okay. Those who do not give charity in spite of having the ability to do so.
Charity for whom?
Subjective. Just charity, because in this chapter talks about charity for different gradations of people.
Yeah. If you are having the ability to give charity, actually everybody has the ability to give charity. Everybody has the ability to give. So to the extent you are able, whatever charity you want, you should give. Because only when you give, you get. If you don't give, you don't get. So he's a fool, number one, one who doesn't give. Hands are meant to give only, that's all. When you give, you get automatic.
Okay. So what would you compare somebody who is accustomed to habitual lying?
Habitual life means?
Lying, speaking lies.
Lie.
Yes.
Habitual. For what purpose he's lying? That is more important.
For his own covering up of mistakes or whatever, like something like that.
Yeah, he cannot be Krishna conscious because he knows Krishna is there in everybody's heart. So he can lie to the world but not to himself. So his self-destruction.
Okay.
He's destroying himself.
Okay. Somebody who gets offended very easily.
He's not a Vaishnava.
Okay.
Vaishnava always thinks not to offend. And he never considers anybody's offense as an offense at all. He thinks it's my karma. Maybe it's meant for my being more closer to Krishna.
Okay. Last one, Maharaj. Somebody who is greedy for sense gratification.
Yeah, I just have to transfer the greed to Krishna Katha, that's all.
Perfect. So thank you, Maharaj. I know how busy you are, but in spite of that, week after week, you're taking your precious time out to enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are eternally indebted to you. Thank you so much, Maharaj. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So there we go. This is our wrapping up of chapter 3 of Canto 2. So practically, Sukadeva Goswami has answered Maharaj Parikshit's question. He has said, what has to be chanted, heard, and remembered is of Krishna Katha more and more and more, like Maharaj was so nicely explaining in today's discussion. So, however, the conversation has to go on. So, for that, Shaunaka Rishi has already expressed his eagerness to Suta Goswami to continue hearing Krishna Katha. So, in the next chapter that we discuss, we are going to discuss about creation. So, chapters 4, 5, 6, and 7, we are going to dive deep into this topic of creation and other interesting questions and answers. So, don't go anywhere. Catch us every Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Our brand new episodes of Pariprashna are going live. If you haven't already watched our previous 31 episodes, everything is available in the same playlist. The link is there in the description, so please check them out. And you can also become part of Maharaj's WhatsApp community. He has an exclusive WhatsApp community, like his travel schedule, his classes, his courses that are upcoming, inspirational quotes from him. So many interesting things happening there. So you definitely don't want to miss out. I have already put the link for his WhatsApp community. So please click on that and become a part of our growing spiritual family. So we will see you next week again. So until then, take care. And as always, stay inquisitive and stay Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.